Here's another granny book. It's called A Halloween Scare in Canada. Prepare if you dare for a tale full of chills, a story of frightful Canadian thrills. A night filled with sights that are best left unseen. You ready? You sure? This was my Halloween. The werewolves howled loudly. The moon shone so bright. I stayed in my bedroom, the curtains shut tight. My heart started pumping. My knees felt so weak. But being a brave kid, I just had to peek. I see him up there peeking out his window. I pulled back the curtains, my mouth open wide. An army of monsters had gathered outside. They staggered and stumbled and lurched down the streets with bags full of cookies and candy corn treats. Emerging from sewers and houses and stores came creatures and critters with ravenous roars. Then more came along from all over the place. They filled up the streets at a dizzying pace. From Windsor, Toronto, Quebec, and Grand Prairie, the big, strong, and hairy, and terrible scary, all gathered together for one spooky night to seek out the living and give them a fright. The thunder clapped loudly with terrible booms. The witches dodged lightning and clung to their brooms. The two-headed doggies tried chasing their tails, and banshees let loose with their hideous wails. The vampires hung out on the street in their gangs and grinned just to show off their pearly white fangs. The mummies moaned loudly and swayed side to side, while Frankenstein stopped about town with his bride. A curious moose saw a witch cooking stew and thought he would lap up her bubbling brew. He felt kind of funny. The next thing he knew, his antlers were flapping and skyward he flew. Oh, she must have something in her brew that can make him fly. He whizzed over mountains and rivers and trees. He saw his friend Bigfoot and screamed, "Look at me!" But just as he spoke, he fell out of the air. Now Bigfoot has 1 ton of moose in his hair. Oh dear, he didn't fly for very long. The creepies were crawly and crazies were crazed. The Calgary zombies had eyes that were glazed. The Montreal orgies were ugly as sin, with big bulging noses and warts on their chin. The ghouls danced around but were lacking in soul. The gargoyles could rock and the headless could roll. Although the whole spectacle seemed to spell doom, I foolishly thought I'd be safe in my room. But then something happened that made my heart jump. From somewhere below me I heard a big thump. I froze for a moment, as quiet as a mouse. Yes, I could hear noises from inside the house. I put on my slippers and pulled on my robe. I shook like a leaf, but I don't think it showed. Then slowly but surely I crept down the stairs, preparing myself for the biggest of scares. My hands trembled wildly. I opened the door. I still shudder now at the horrors I saw. The stereo spat out some hideous sounds as dozens of monsters jumped mildly around. The sight was horrific. It made my skin crawl. These monsters were having their Halloween ball. And right in the middle, one monster loomed tall, the hairiest, scariest monster of all. He turned round and saw me. I fell to my knees. "I'm not very tasty, so please don't eat me." He beamed ear to ear and broke free from the huddle, ran over and gave me a big monster cuddle. "At last we have found found you," he said with a smile. "From Whitehorse to Moncton, we've looked for a while. We've come here to give you your wonderful prize." And he held up a trophy in front of my eyes. "A prize? And for me?" I replied with a grin. "But what did I enter and how did I win?" "You won the first prize for the costume you're wearing. It even scares me, and I'm tip-top at scaring." "This isn't a costume. I'm just dressed as me." "Oh, exactly the scariest thing you can be. A small human child with a cute button nose. Your teeth are so shiny you've only 10 toes. You've no hair on your face and no horns on your head. The whites of your eyes are not glowing or red. Oh, a bone-chilling costume, a horrible sight, a worthy ensemble for Halloween night." We partied together, and the moon set, a Halloween night I'll never forget. And next year I won't want to hide in my bed. Those monsters won't scare me. I'll scare them instead. Oh, they're scared of him. They're scared of him because he doesn't look like them. Anyway, I'm going to send this. Hope you like it.